Foreign Affairs, Transportation, Infrastructure Committees, one of Congress's most vocal advocates for declassifying all government data about UFOs. So if there are aliens out there, if there are these UFOs out there, how have none of these sensors, commercial or government, and even NASA, which is civilian, picked them up?
I suspect they have. Yeah, I think it's the biggest cover-up we've ever seen. You know, they had our committee, the Intelligence Committee, reviewed it basically, and I was asked afterwards what I thought about it. I said we got hosed. Basically, the American public did. There's information out there. There's Navy pilots that were actually in the audience who would have talked about their encounters in the air with unidentified flying objects. And it's continued on. There's some of the footage you see right there. I've actually talked to the Navy pilot, one of them that was in the air, I believe, when this was being filmed, and it's a power, it's a control thing. Washington D.C. I mean, we won't turn loose anything about the Kennedy assassination. For goodness sakes.
We did that segment last night. There's now a lawsuit. 60 years later, they still haven't released all the files. But you think about the polls on this. 65% believe in alien life. 87% UFOs are not a security risk. If you believe that there's something flying around in the sky that's able to evade all of our commercial satellite imaging, all of our commercial and civilian telescopes, radar, everything else that looks out into the heavens. There's universities that have this stuff. There's obviously NASA, on and on and on and on. How do you believe it's not a security risk?
And that's a great question. We had in this hearing, it wasn't a classified briefing. I believe they talked about 14 different close encounters with our military aircraft. And if there's something in our military air zone that we do not control, that government, we better be concerned. And, you know, and of course, the question is it the Russians? Well, if it's the Russians, you know, Putin's ego, he would land one of the UFOs on the White House lawn and get out bare-chested, ride a unicorn up and punch the president in the mouth and get back on it and fly back. It's Chinese, same thing. If we had it, we would control the airways. It's either one of two things. It's either we have captured something and we're reverse engineering, which some of the pilots that I've talked to, Navy pilots, think that it is skunk works, or it is something from outer space.
Well, when you say skunk works, that's a U.S. government project that's so dark that the Navy pilots and civilian pilots wouldn't know about it, like the SR-71 or the B-2 bomber or something like this. And these would be explained by the military, the very secret part of the military, testing their newest stuff against their own, our own guys without knowing or telling them that was happening, right?
Correct, but I don't think that's a possibility due to the fact that it is defying all laws of physics. Literally, if that was one of our pilots in one of those aircrafts, I mean, they would be basically a catch-up package. They could not stand the G's that these things are doing. You got to see these aren't putting off any heat sensors or anything, and there's no friction. One of these.
I only got 30 seconds. I know you do as well. But you think about like the NASA telescopes that look at this stuff. You think about all the civilian telescopes at universities and the like that look out. Are we to imagine that all of these things have picked up these UFOs and it's a cover-up by everybody?
Well, you're looking at a stationary object with those telescopes. They're not equipped to do just that, but the others are, and we're seeing it on our night vision or heat sensory cameras and things on our aircraft. So they're out there. We're just in denial, and it is a complete cover-up by the federal government. It's probably, though, what I think is it's so far past our government that there's several major corporations that have control of some sort of apparatus. And they're the ones doing the reverse engineering, if it is possible that they are doing. But
that's crazy. Hey, Congressman, we appreciate you always coming on and talking about this. Your enthusiasm for this and your knowledge about it really is important to hear. Well, good to see you, sir.